Yeah, I've been trying to have some tea, some more tea lately. But I think that it comes with a job. Yeah, teachers get to have coffee. They need their coffee.
It's all right. Our choice is perfectly all right. In India, many of us have tea, but many of us love coffee too.
Yeah. Is it green tea or is it just black tea?
You know, that also vary from which part of the country you are. I am from North India, where it's lots of milk and tea. Forget about a normal tea. It's, you put tea also. They don't use milk at all. Again, everybody's choice, but tea is popular.
And in some places, we like to combine it, like Ms. Dillon was saying, milk and sugar, and it's quite sweet. So we'd like to also think of it as a dessert sometime.
Yeah. In Uruguay, we have mate, which is a form of green tea, but you have it in a gourd with a straw, and it's really, really hot. And when kids go to school, they usually carry their school material and their mate. So in Uruguay, everyone is always with a thermos under their arm. And also in the south of Brazil, where I live as well, we have a huge mate culture.
Yeah.
By the way, we are expecting snow today. It's really cold.
Oh, lovely. I wish there was some way in which you could pack a bit of snow and send it to India as well to us. Hot and humid out here. I wish there was that's a startup idea, I think, that somebody needs to discover.
Yeah, we don't get snow very often. Where we live is extremely cold and damp, but we don't get snow very often. But this winter we got it twice already.
Okay.
In fact, you were talking about the tea part and the varieties. I have a very interesting small story to share with you. In one of the cities that we went to a restaurant for, to have tea and coffee. So the waitress came and she asked that, what kind of tea do you want? So we said, we want normal tea, get the normal tea for us. So she went and she got the most beautiful, but, green tea. She got in little cups, she got us green tea. So we said, no, this is green tea. We wanted the normal tea. So she told us, no, this is the normal tea. Green tea is the normal tea, and what you are having is abnormal, with the milk and the sugar.
Uruguay. Veronica, my last question to you. You live in Brazil and you work in Brazil and Uruguay. Am I pronouncing the name of the country correctly?
Uruguay, yes. I live in Brazil. I live in Brazil and I work in Brazil and in Uruguay.
Uruguay. Where do you live once again?
I got it.
Sorry?
Do you want?
Okay.
Hello, Yashri ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
But we can't see you.
Yes.
जल्दी करो अब्दुल्ला, आई एम वेटिंग फॉर यू. मेरी मीटिंग स्टार्ट हो गई है, मैंने खत्म करना है काम.
Team, check the audio. Who's unmuted? So, Yashashri ma'am, we are delighted, honored, and blessed to have you amongst us today. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. I'm just struggling with the video a bit. I'll just come back.
Take your time. It's all
No
right,
problem.
ma'am. Take your time, please.
Access your camera.
Can I just brief for 1 minute? We can rejoin.
Okay, so I think I'll have to leave and then rejoin just to check the camera settings.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, so I think now you can see me.
Yes, we can. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much for joining.
Thank you so much, and it would be lovely hearing all of you today. I'm really looking forward to a very, very interesting session today. Thank you, Samarth, for making this happen and asking me to join.
No, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time and for your, support and guidance. I have so much to talk about today. I'll be reflecting on the Varanasi mission as well. So what we do every month is that we are having a lot of trainings, a lot of different educational institutions. We call it the RiseUp4Peace family. So a lot of good work happening. And this month was dedicated to integrity, ethics, and anti-corruption. So a lot of things have happened on anti-corruption related education throughout different institutions, and we see a glimpse of that. Every month we are coming out with a newsletter, and all thanks to the team at the Kamala Nehru Public School, who sort of put in everything together from different institutions to compile always it's above 250 pages, a newsletter with everything that has happened across these 35 countries that we are working in. So we'll see a glimpse of it today. And of course, with the other RiseUp4Peace members, I have so much to share about the mission and just how amazing Ms. Shukla was during the program, the kind of love that she got from the students where we went. And I have so much to share. So look, thank you so much again, ma'am, for joining.
It was an absolute pleasure for me also, Samarth. I mean, getting to talk to school children really, takes you back to your own days, and it brings back so many memories and nostalgia. So And this is the time when we can actually give back to the society in whichever way we can. So it was really very enriching. Yeah.
Lovely. So every month we meet like this, despite all the work that happens, one dedicated Saturday where all the entire family comes together, all the educators, students also come together for this on what we did, what are some of the ideas, and sharing the next month's sort of vision. So we are very grateful that you are here and looking forward. So we start, I think, Ms. Dhillon at 6.
At 6. So this is an informal talk which we have because it's a drawing. The way Samad said, it's a drawing room family. We are all talking to each other. So that's how it is. And we are live on YouTube also. So there are students there also. Some students have joined this link also. And educators would be there in a big way here.
All right. Thank you.
And we enjoy every moment of what we are doing. But nothing gives you a kick like RiseUp4Peace gives us. With students' work, the creativity, talking about peace and talking about strong institutions, and also talking about no corruption, ethics, everything when we do it. We have thematic areas. Mm-hmm. So the last thematic area was corruption prevention and ethics, and the upcoming one. So that's how we go about. But
Samad, sure. I mean, his enthusiasm also rubs off on all of us, and I could see that the kids are really, really very enthused by his presence and the activities that he conducts. So,
ma'am, yes, all of that is. I mean, this is like a life mission, of course. But, with Ms. Dhillon, if we spend about 2 minutes is all that it takes to sit with Ms. Dhillon. And it's like she's like a reservoir of energy and, ideas. So it becomes it's like a mutual thing that is happening here. Even Veronica is joining us from Brazil. And she'll be speaking today as well. And yes. Ma'am, we also see Charu ma'am on the screen, Charu Chabra, who is also the driving force behind this program, looking at different interventions coming together.
So as such, it's a team, ma'am. We're pretty dedicated to this because it's not limited to one thing. It's structured activities which we plan. Then we have those links ready where children from all the schools and educators guide them, and they put it over there. Then we compile it up in terms of a newsletter, and we also compile it up in terms of a virtual art gallery visit. And then whatever tools, plenty of IT tools are used. So whatever tools we do, we try to show a glimpse during this particular meeting what the children did in this month. And then we discuss the activities, again, the structured activities, what we are going to do it before the next meeting. And art integration is given lots of emphasis, ma'am. The reason being CBSE, we are mostly affiliated to CBSE. So CBSE says art integration, and the NEP, NCF, everything, it's all about art integration. And art integration is dance, music, everything along with the art. Yeah. And we have plenty of children who have learned how to use AI when it comes to preparing a poster. So it is text to picture also. Yeah. So we're using Adobe, we're using Padlet. Of course, Microsoft Teams is where we have connected to. So the IT skills are being honed too. Rather, in this coming session, we have an activity specifically for teachers. Because it's all about corruption, it's all about drugs, organized crime, and youth resistance, where teachers will be playing a big major role. So this time we have an activity for teachers to use AI and prepare a template. So apart from the students, we have for teachers also. And sometimes we involve the community also, where we say the family is going to do this. So we look into a multi-pronged strategy so that, we try to influence as many people as we can. So that's the bottom line.
That's wonderful. That's something like I also envisage, that it has to have multiple partnerships working together. Only then, because everyone brings something to the table.
Yes, that's there.
Yeah.
And this is, ma'am, so much of fun, all of this happening over the last several months. I mean, our partnership has been there since COVID-19 and a lot of work we did during the pandemic. But with Rise Up for Peace, the work that is happening, it's so much of fun that next year, I'm sure, all of us will be getting applications for admission from ourselves because we want to be enrolled in school once more as students. It's so much. I mean, we did not have these opportunities when, at least I didn't when I was in school.
Yeah.
But now, and students' creativity is also coming through. Educators are doing so much. But I wish that this was there when we were in school as well.
True.
Yeah.
We plan to have drug awareness as a big campaign in the next month. We want everybody to be involved. Students, lots of pressure, the peer pressure, the academic pressure, the parents' pressure. We have 2 minutes. I walked into a class. It was 9th C class. And, today I adopted that class because everybody said, "Padhte nahi hai, not this, they don't behave well." So I said, principal's class. And thereafter, motivating them, I said, "Come on, put up some questions." And one child said, "Ma'am, my parents don't understand me." Look at the plight.
Yeah.
There was another child, he said, "Ma'am, बनना तो doctor है, पर science तो अच्छी नहीं लगती है." So these are, for the child, it's such a big uphill challenge. For us, it seems, अच्छा क्यों नहीं पढ़ते, भाई पढ़ो ना, क्यों नहीं पढ़ते. There was another girl, "Ma'am, इतने thoughts दिमाग में आते हैं." So small little strategies, I was just trying to win over the confidence and say, "Mere bachche, meri class, principal section, we remove the C part from you." I need them. So that's how they work. Children need some love and affection. Jo marji keh lo. School, nothing doing. It's a different school now. Post-COVID, we're just not normal.
And also the whole device ecosystem, I think as parents, also, everybody is busy on some device or the other. Now, children don't get that kind of time which we used to have, where we used to discuss about things other than academics also. So it could be a behavior issue at school. It could be just anything, So now that time somehow is not there for the children. So I guess that's also another challenge. Parents and educators are, trying to work on.
So, just the right time to start.
These and strong institutions.
So here we go. So I seek your permission, ma'am. May we start, Samarth? May we start, please?
Yes, please. And if the rest of the speakers can be muted, let's start.
Yeah. So team, look into it. We need to mute everybody. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste from India. It could be morning somewhere. It could be afternoon somewhere. In India, it's good evening. We take this opportunity to welcome all the beloved educators and the beloved students to RiseUp4Peace Dialogue 9, and today is 24th August 2024. Thank you so much for joining. Initially, we have discussed, we started early this year, and this is the Dialogue 9 when we are talking. It's all about heart integration. It's all about a cause. It's all about rising up for peace. And when it's collaboration, when it is trust, when it is faith in the team, we do wonders. And that's what exactly we are doing when it comes to Rise Up for Peace. So thank you so much. I would now request Samarth Pathak to please update us about what has been happening. He has been traveling hell lot. So over to you, Samarth Pathak.
Thank you, Ms. Dhillon, and a very good evening to all of you. Always an honor to be here. And right before this dialogue, I was telling everyone, and especially Ms. Shukla, who has joined us from the Central Vigilance Commission, that this is like a Rise Up for Peace family drawing room dialogue that we do every month. And the message there is that everybody is so comfortable with each other that we all open up, we share our thoughts, we share our ideas, and this has truly become a collaborative sort of a approach. Now, this month has been absolutely fantastic in the terms of the student response, the educators' responses, and all of you. And a glimpse of that I just saw. I was marveling actually at the pre-survey that happened. We did a pre-survey, as you all know, and all of you participated in exploring honesty and fairness, just to ascertain how much do we understand honesty and fairness as concepts. I'm so happy to have about 3,824 responses to this pre-survey. And hopefully at the end of the month, now that we are concluding with this, it'll be interesting to see the kind of understanding that has been enhanced through the efforts that we did. So this month was dedicated to integrity, ethics, and anti-corruption, a very important theme, a very important topic. And that is why we thought that who better than Ms. Yashri Shukla, Additional Secretary at the Central which we need to, I think, follow up on. From there, we went to Shillong, where the Directorate of Education and Research and Training heads of schools, who again spoke about gender divides in a very where women are heads of the family, but there too a lot of issues with single mothers, with a lot of now different gender equations that are taking place, which also are affecting young people and their mental health and vulnerability. So there too, integrity, ethics, and anti-corruption came out very strongly. We discussed how we can create a students' council or a students' club in classrooms or in schools where these issues can be taken up in a more institutionalized way. And from there, we traveled to Guwahati, where our beloved RiseUp4Peace partner, Ranjana Harlalka, the Sarla Birla Gyan Jyoti School, opened their doors for us, hosted the program there, bringing in again educators and students from about 15 schools together from Guwahati. And again, a tremendous, very energetic sort of a conversation around cyber, around mental health, around gender divide, and on integrity ethics, as you know. And a very interesting idea was about art and tech integration, where the students told us about creating an app where cyber safety awareness can be given with art, with AI art tools that can be developed. So we are working with some of the students there already, thanks to Ranjana ji, and we hope to also share some great work happening with you in the coming days. So with that, we are back to home base after a long while. It is, I think I sat in this room in February for this dialogue, and now I'm back. Now it's September and now August, and now I'm here. So a lot of work happening, and we are very thrilled with the responses. One final thing before I conclude is that so far what we are focused on is the training, the sensitization, the kind of knowledge provision that we are giving to different educational institutions, a lot of trainings that have taken place around these themes, very focused sessions. And now, from September to December, we are going to be showcasing more of the interventions and the solutions that all of you have created. So I've already, sort of compiled the work on Wakelet, on Padlet, and the different platforms that you are sharing your content on. And trust me, all of that is going to be showcased in an extensive way, as extensively as possible. We're already sharing the newsletters and the different, compilations that are already coming in. But we want to put a spotlight on as many of you as possible, as many interventions as possible, and that is what is going to happen. So we really request your support as well. If there's some standout work that you feel needs to be showcased, please do share it with us again, if possible. But we are going to be going through all the work that you have submitted so far. So with that, thank you once again, and I'm really energized for a lot of work. The next month is going to be super interesting, especially from UNODC perspective, because we focus on a theme that, of course, Ms. Dhillon is going to share. So I'm not going to take away the surprise, but we are very excited with that prospect. And one final thing that I want to share is that a lot of students, when we are going to meet them, they are absolutely hugging us, touching us, telling us that we need to talk about these things. A lot of educators are coming to us saying that these things need to be taken to the classroom. We know how to, we have some ideas, but how do we structure it? So this is where I think RiseUp4Peace success of this initiative lies, where all of us are sharing ideas, helping each other, supporting each other, a lot of collaborative work happening. And I think this needs to be scaled up. So hopefully in the coming months and maybe years, because as I always say, this is a lifelong mission, and we need to sort of institutionalize these things in our institution. So with that, I'll conclude. And once again, thank you to Charu ma'am, Nisha ma'am, and the entire team at KNPS, who is the driving force behind this in many ways. And with that, I hand over the mic back to Ms. Paramjeet Dhillon.
Thank you, Samath. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. You have been traveling length to breadth of the country and doing wonders over there, meeting in person for all these roundtables. That is an important aspect of our RiseUp4Peace, and thank you for shouldering it so beautifully. Now I take this opportunity to invite our all-important spotlight speaker of the day, Ms. Shukla. She is the Additional Secretary, Central Vigilance Commission, Government of India. Ma'am, we are indebted to you for finding time from your all-important responsibilities and duties. We are lucky to have you amongst us, and no more time for me. It's all yours. And we would like to hear about corruption prevention and ethics, which was the thematic area of the work which the children have done it. Over to you, Ms. Shukla, please.
Thank you. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. So, namaste, everyone. Greetings from India to all who are joining in today. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be in the midst of such dedicated educators and wonderful school children who are joining us today from across the globe and on a theme which is very, very dear to me. So I'm really pleased to be here with all of you today. I would like this opportunity to introduce my organization to all the children and the educators who are not from India as to what the commission works and is mandated to deliver. So the Central Vigilance Commission is an apex statutory government body which is responsible for promoting integrity, accountability, transparency in the public administration of the country. So it was established in 1964, and we have completed some 60 proud years already. So the commission basically focuses on creating a very, very efficient vigilance administration across all the organizations within the government of India. And we work towards ensuring that if any of the public servants have erred in their performance of functions, and if they have it being involved in any kind of unethical practice while doing their government functions, so there's a set of penalties which need to be imposed on them. And here at the commission, we look at those complaints and cases in depth, and then we take a call as to what would be the commensurate penalty to be imposed on that particular public servant. So, like I've shared with Samarth earlier as well, that when I go through all of those files, the central, thought that crosses my mind every time is that what was this person thinking when he was actually doing this misconduct? So that really brings me back to the bottom line, that there must be something, either in his the way he was brought up, or the way he was taught, or the way his environment has, given him that kind of an input to go ahead with such a misconduct. So, it then brings us back to where the amelioration should actually take place, So it has to happen at the youngest age group, and we really have to nurture and inculcate all of those values of ethics, integrity amongst our kids and young people, so that when they grow up, they are able to take that call of what is right and what is wrong. So something more about the commission, that here the commission is headed by a Central Vigilance Commissioner, and he is supported by 2 Vigilance Commissioners, and then there is a Secretariat with a Secretary. Then there are 4 additional secretaries like me, and then we are supported by various directors, under secretaries, and staff. And we also have people from the banks assisting us on cases where there are issues in the functioning of the banks. So this is the main head office. And then in every organization in the government, like every ministry department, we have one CVO, which is the Central Vigilance Officer, and they have a full setup in each of these organizations, who are like our eyes and ears in those organizations, and they work on behalf of us. So across the length and breadth of the country, these some 5,000 CVOs are constantly helping us and aiding us in performance of our functions. So every year, apart from the various, these are serious issues which we take care in the commission, but every year during the month of October, when Sardar Vallabhbhai Sardar Patel's birthday. It falls on 31st of October. So we celebrate Vigilance Awareness Week during that period. And 3 months prior to that is the campaign period. So where we take up a lot of events across the country, which focuses on preventive vigilance. And that includes capacity building programs and taking up various events. It could be a run for integrity, it could be a debate competition, it could be any of the contests, or eminent speakers speaking about it. So in the last few years, the President of India, Prime Minister of India have graced the occasion during the Vigilance Awareness Week. So this is a very, very integral part of our functioning. And this year's Vigilance Awareness Week would be held in the last week of October. And our campaign period has already been flagged off from 16th of August. And interestingly, the theme of this year is culture of integrity for nation's prosperity. So we are very, very cognizant of the fact that the future growth of the country is closely linked with how the youth of today will take forward the efforts of development tomorrow. And the results will not only be phenomenal, but also long-lasting and sustainable if it is achieved with utmost sincerity, integrity, and done ethically. So in the past, during these campaign periods, we have worked with school children, especially during the years from 2020 to 2022. And you would be surprised to know that about 4.25 million school children have participated across 25,000 schools and colleges during this period. And so, like I said, there were national level essay competitions happening. In 2022, we came out with a comic booklet set of 11 such books, and they were released by the Prime Minister of India. And these booklets were also circulated at the anti-corruption working group meetings during the G20 in 2023. So this year, we are thinking of certain initiatives where probably we could also partner with UNODC and take the initiative forward. So these are still initial days, and we need to sit with Samarth and his team and like to work some things out. And what we are really looking forward is nothing in the short term, but something very concrete, something for the long term, something which will have a very, very serious impact, and which will give us the kind of results which will be perceptible to everyone. And we are talking of intergenerational change, and that kind of thought process which needs to be set in the right motion. I would not say needs to be corrected, but set in the right direction. So that is about what we do in terms of creating awareness about vigilance activities and around issues of values, ethics, and integrity. For the benefit of people who are joining in from outside of India, like there is one example which I always quote, where the school children have been very, very instrumental in bringing about public policy change, which even the law enforcement agencies were finding it very difficult to enforce. Around this time of the year, the air pollution levels start rising in Delhi and several cities in the North India, and it coincides with the time the festival of lights, Diwali, happens. And so when we were bursting crackers during that period, the air pollution levels were really going very high up, and it was affecting the health of young children and old people. So no matter how much the government was trying hard to curb the bursting of crackers, it wasn't really giving us the kind of results. But when the educators and the school children got together and they created a kind of awareness program where a reverse mentorship was happening, the children were coming home and talking to their parents, to their other siblings, and bringing in that mindset change where people started to think about, yes, we need to think about it and we need to curb the bursting of crackers. And it was a really, really very successful campaign with the help of the educators and children, wherein we have seen that, now in Delhi, it's almost minimal, contribution from the crackers towards the pollution levels. So this is what I feel that, the educators have a very, very vital role in the overall shaping of the future of our tomorrow, the youth of our country. And I also feel that, parents need to collaborate with the educators on this. They have to become the most vital link between the educators and the children, because children these days are being exposed to so much because of the internet and a lot of information which is going around, which could be misinformation as well. So the kind of impact all of this is happening on the minds of our children, they need to be guided in the right direction. And it cannot happen only with the help of the educators, the parents, the society, and institutions such as ours. We all have to come together, and also institutions like UNODC through their initiatives. We all could come together and partner in a way where we could actually, bring about that kind of change that we envisage for our children. And basically, we would like that. We are also aware that the curriculum these days in schools is very, very intensive, and the children are really finding it very difficult to do something other than, what their course syllabus and other activities demand. However, the sensitivity with which the issues of ethics and integrity need to be taken care of by the educators, I think that is where the training of the educators becomes very, very important. And they will really need a lot of innovative methods to, get the message across to the kids, and in a way which is not prescriptive, and which really kind of churns the thought process, which also ignites that, the interest among the children, and where they actually engage in these activities or out of their own will, it should not be forced upon them. And so, my closing remarks today is that Rise Up for Peace initiative is a very, very important link in this whole story, and what they are doing, and what the kind of the response that the students are showing to this initiative, that's very enthusing, very, very it's promising. Because when I went to Varanasi, I thought that whether kids would even be interested in these activities, because one Saturday gone, they could have actually played out in the cricket ground, or watched TV or something. But the kind of involvement the students have shown, the educators have shown, and the families of these students who actually brought them from such a long distance, they actually traveled in heavy rains and they came there, and they were all very enthused and very interested in all the activities. And the one thing which was the takeaway for me from that particular Varanasi trip was that the children actually are able to understand the nuances of such issues which we feel that are so intricate and so complex, but they in their own way have been able to understand it and then put it across in the form of presentations before us. So nowhere I could see that they were struggling with the understanding of the concept. They could easily assimilate and adapt, and also bring their own kind of uniqueness to the whole learning process. So, which was really, really nice. And I was really pleasantly surprised by the kind of enthusiasm which was shown on a subject which is quite drab and, it's mostly very prescriptive. So people really kind of go off or zone off, after a while. So in that sense, Rise Up for Peace is a very good initiative, and I think we can enrich it further and further with a very good collaboration at all levels. So all the best to the initiative and to the team and all the educators and students present here. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you.
Honorable Spotlight Speaker, Ms. Shukla, it was a pleasure to have you amongst us. Additional Secretary, Central Vigilance Commission. Ma'am, you have upgraded us when it comes to knowing about Central Vigilance Commission. The organization setup, the Vigilance Awareness Week, ma'am, we have been part of it. The CBSE lets us know. We take the oath also. We go for street play. We have special morning assembly. And this Awareness Week is celebrated. The social studies departments shoulder this responsibility nearly in all the schools. We are one of those 25,000, I don't know, the big number you said. These schools are also participating. It was a pleasure to know that. And ma'am, culture of integrity for national prosperity. Thank you for letting us know the theme of the upcoming celebrations. And we'll be it into a big way. Maybe we'll have some activities designed so that the entire Rise Up for team joins in celebrating this culture of integrity for national prosperity. It'll be so good. And thank you so much for joining us and for joining the Varanasi and understanding that these children love all this and they understand it in a big way. You'll be surprised the beautiful posters they make. Thank you. And I move over to our next education leader, Spotlight Education speaker. And she is Veronica. She is looking after Brazil and Uruguay. I had to ask her how to pronounce this country's name, but she's doing a fabulous job. Ma'am, she has college students and she writes papers. She shares it amongst the entire Rise Up for Group team. She has shared another one today that how can we put this into practice? And she's a very valued member like everybody else in Rise Up for team when it comes to educators. Certified TFL teacher, and the entire details are mentioned over there. Veronica, over to you, dear. Please share your presentation and let's hear from you all about corruption, prevention and ethics and what have you been doing about it.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you for having me. I am going to start sharing my screen. I am going to start by showing you some seconds of a video. Please let me know if you can see it. Can you see my screen?
We just have to wait. Not yet. You have to be louder, dear.
Oh, okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. All right. So I am going to start sharing the screen. Let me know when you can see.
Not yet.
Not yet. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see a video on YouTube.
Okay. I hope that there isn't much of a delay in the image. You're just going to watch a few seconds of it.
Okay.
The chain of disaster is not complete. No one in the room that night knew the shutdown button could act as a detonator. They didn't know it. The cat from them. Testimony, and it was a lie. I lied to the world.
What you have just witnessed is a chilling reminder of the devastating consequences when those in power prioritize convenience over integrity. When critical information is withheld and corners are cut in the name of expediency. The result of this is a massive, irreparable, and tragic loss of lives. Until today, Chernobyl is a scar on history, and it's a reminder that corruption at the top has very real human consequences. But let's take a step back, shall we? Because here's the thing. Can you see my screen? Yes. So here's the thing. Corruption doesn't begin in corridors of power. It doesn't start in the boardrooms or in high offices. Corruption begins with us in our daily lives, in our choices, in our communities, and in our classrooms. And for that, allow me to share two personal anecdotes that you might think that are worlds apart from what I just showed you in the beginning, but bear with me because they are deeply related. Let me introduce you to Vicky. Of course, this is not her real name and this is not her real picture, but I have permission to share this story with you. She started working with me 2 years ago. So she has been my student for 2 years. And when we started working together, she couldn't understand the way that I work. She couldn't make any sense of the fact that all the material that I share with them, the course books, the test materials, they all have the answer keys attached to them. Because I believe in agency and responsibility and taking your learning journey in your own hands. So she questioned, she said, how are you going to make sure that we don't cheat? And she couldn't understand when I said that this is not my place, this is not my role as an educator. And after talking, we came to the conclusion that what she was expressing was a very generalized view that unfortunately students have, and many educators as well, that the role of teachers is simply to monitor that students don't cheat, and that the role of students is simply to find new and creative ways of cheating. I think that this is a very reductive mindset because it puts educators and students as rivals, as adversaries, instead of allies. And I find that mentality deeply troubling. The second anecdote I want to share with you has to do with an ethical exercise that I do together with parents. I do it with the students and with the parents. And it goes like this. Imagine that you find your child in possession of multiple credit cards with the name of strangers in them. Would you report your child to the authorities? And because I have been in the classroom for over 30 years, 33 going on 34 years, I have had the opportunity of doing this exercise with multiple generations. And in recent years, I have observed a trend which I find very concerning. More and more, I see parents saying that they would never report their child to the authorities for fraudulent behavior, mainly for two reasons. Some express that they are concerned that it's going to look poorly on them. as parents. And others say that as long as their child is not stealing from their own family, it's fine. And this attitude is a clear indicator of a broader societal shift that is deeply troubling. Because you see, corruption, the abuse of power for personal gain, it doesn't just happen on a grand scale like we think. It starts with the normalization of small actions, the bending of the rules for our personal benefits. It's that belief that it's okay to cheat as long as we don't get caught. And more you see people, you see students, and it's heartbreaking to listen to them saying, well, it's just a small thing. Everyone does it. I mean, what difference does it make? Well, it does make a lot of difference, and it's really bad. Because you see, corruption leads to the erosion of trust, first and foremost. Individuals lose faith in the system. And this lack of trust can lead to apathy, can lead to the notion that what is the point of helping? What is the point of caring about other people? It weakens social cohesion. Corruption also leads to a lot of economical damage because when resources are misallocated, we misallocate our resources and nothing, and they don't go where they should be going: healthcare, education, infrastructure, the critical services the public needs. Corruption also leads to a lot of social inequality. It exacerbates differences between individuals. It creates a culture of winners and losers, and that is something that furthers resentment. It furthers disconnection. Corruption also leads to the weakening of institutions. It weakens the ability to function effectively, and it ends up to make it difficult to implement reforms that matter. Corruption also is a threat of democracy because it makes individuals question the legitimacy of the elections, and even results in a very poor turnout of voters in countries where voting is not mandatory. Ultimately, corruption leads to moral decay because it fosters this culture where unethical behavior becomes the norm, and individuals sees that this unethical behavior is going unpunished and oftentimes is even being rewarded. That is why teaching ethics and integrity is so crucial. And lucky for us, we are in that position. We hold that power as educators, and we have the moral responsibility to do it. And lucky for us as well, we have many resources. Let me show you some examples. We know, and studies have shown, that when students all over the world, in different cultures and in different environments, when they engage in activities in the classroom that foster ethics and integrity, they report lower instances of cheating and plagiarism because they know the consequences and implications of that. They develop more empathy and care for the other. They make better choices because they develop critical thinking skills. They are better educated. They are less impulsive. They have more civic engagement. They engage in voluntarism. There is a higher turnout of voters. And overall, the environment and the morale of the school is improved as a whole. So there are plenty of well-documented benefits to that. Now, in preparing this presentation, I did a lot of research. I would like to have done more, but I came up with some very practical ideas. And first and foremost, the UN ODC has this wonderful page that has plenty of ideas of how to foster learning, an ethical learning environment in the classroom. They have this teacher's resource guide, which I have downloaded. It's free to download, but I'm going to share it in the chat after this presentation because I found it extremely useful. Of course, this in particular is for college students, but with enough creativity and a little bit of motivation, all these activities can be tailored for any age group and for any subject. Another wonderful resource I have comes from the page at Edutopia by the George Lucas Foundation. Here on this page, just on the K2 primary window, you find 12 activities that focus on teaching ethics in the classroom. And this page in particular is targeted or targets K12 and K2 students. So you have plenty of activities for elementary school and middle school. Apart from that, I have taken the liberty of designing a short booklet with some ideas for activities. I hope you find it useful because that was the intention behind it. Of course, language teaching is my area of expertise, but I made sure to include activities for all subjects: arts, math, physics, biology, environmental management. You will find ideas for lessons, ideas for projects, for debates, and for discussions. I am going to be sharing that booklet at the end of this conversation in our WhatsApp chat group. Another very useful resource to teach about ethics and integrity in the classroom is by using real-life examples. These are just 3 cases which I have selected, but in the booklet, you're going to find many more with ideas for lessons, projects, and discussions based on them. And on a more simple level, just to start a conversation, imagine that you teach math or physics. Well, why not have a look at the biography of Albert Einstein, for instance, and move away a little bit from his mathematical and physics theories and look at what he had to say about corruption. It's an excellent moment to have this conversation in a classroom, in a physics classroom. If, on the other hand, you're teaching history, well, have a look at Winston Churchill, what he had to say about corruption. So using quotes of notable people in history, a way of starting to have these conversations in the classroom and of develop critical thinking and develop projects, regardless of the subject that you teach. Further examples include some programs that I have found out around the globe. There is the Teaching Ethical Dilemmas in Finland, with a very strong focus on critical thinking and the development of ethics, of course. In Japan, there is the program Ethics and Morality Curriculum. Actually, in Japan, the teaching of ethics and morality is part of the regular curriculum at school. And they have reported that schools that implement this curriculum, they have lower instances of vandalism and bullying. In Canada, you find the program Roots for Empathy that focuses more on teaching emotional intelligence and ethical behavior towards others, because it's fundamental to remember that when we teach about ethics, we are teaching kindness. And then the Good Behavior Game is another initiative in multiple countries around the world that you can find. Now, to conclude, I think that corruption is more than a legal issue. At the core, corruption is an attack on our shared humanity. It dissolves and erodes the fabric of our society. And as educators, we have not only the power, but the responsibility to counteract this by cultivating integrity and accountability in our students. And I invite you to champion a culture of transparency and justice, not just to build a brighter future, but in reality, a better world now, today. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Veronica. You're very good, and you shared such wonderful resources Thank you very, very much, Viva. We are really honored and blessed to have you as a spotlight educator. I feel before we move ahead, can we have a group photo right now and also at the end of the session? Maybe do that, please. Is it okay, Samal? Can we go ahead? This time,
I think that will be very nice. Yes, I'm sure that one of the two pictures will, I'll look very nice. So let's take one now and one later.
minute, your 1 minute instructions?
Yes. I'll do it. So may I request everyone to please switch on your cameras if you're comfortable, but as many of you as possible. You know how we do this every month. And we'll take a set of 3 photographs together because the third one is usually the best. But that should not stop you from giving your best pose in the first and second one. So 1, 2, okay, let's give 1 more second for people to just switch on their cameras. All right. So 1, 2, and 3. Excellent. We'll take 2 very quick ones as well. Just give me 1 second. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. And this one will be the best. I have a feeling. Okay. All right. Take it. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we move on. So, the virtual art gallery now. It was all about heroes of integrity portraits, and we have 205 responses. Poster with Adobe Express Sweet Temptation, luring children with treats. It was we have 167 responses. Poster on corruption scenes, 265 responses. We go ahead with the tour to the virtual art gallery.
Greetings everyone. We welcome you all to the virtual art gallery of RiseUp4Peace education initiative. We'll begin with activity 2, Heroes of Integrity poster. Wonderful work done by the students of BD Memorial Junior School, India. Incredible work done by the students of Mansukh Bhai Kothari National School, Cambridge International School, Nakodar. Vibrant work done by the students of Kamla Nehru Public School, Fagwada, Punjab, India. Flawlessly presented portraits made by the students of Ratlam Public School, India. Colorful posters made by the student of CASD George Prudencio Padilla, Colombia, and Colegial Economic Nicole Crețulescu, Romania. Absolutely stunning work done by the students of Sri Seshas International Public School, Tamil Nadu, followed by Funlish Language School, Kolkata, SDS World School, Village, Rajkumar, with the message, Prevention First, Corruption Last. Incredible work done by the students of Little Angels Co-ed School, Kapurthala, Sushila Billa Girls School, India, Sarla Billa Gyan Jyoti Guwahati, Assam, and Ved Vyas DAV Public School, Delhi. Next, we have activity 3, Sweet Temptations, luring children with treats. Wonderful posters made by the students of BCM School, Ludhiana, followed by Cambridge International School, Nakodar, Funlish Language School, Kolkata, and Colegial Economic Nicole Crețulescu, Romania. Incredible posters made by the students of Kamla Nehru Public School, Fagwada, Punjab, India. This time, the thematic area was corruption prevention and ethics. vibrant posters made by the students of Sri Seshas International Public School, Mansukh Bhai Kothari School, Indirapuram Public School, India, and Ratlam Public School, India. Incredible work done by the students of STS World School Village Rajkumar, Salla Billa Gyan Jyoti Guwahati Assam, Sushila Billa Girls School, Sri Venkateshwar International School and Ved Vyas DAV Public School, Delhi. Activity 5, posters on corruption scene. Wonderful work done by the students of Delhi Public School Varanasi, Spanish Language School Kolkata, Ved Vyas DAV Public School Delhi, Cambridge International School Nakodar and Beery Memorial Junior School, India. Incredible posters made by the students of STS World School Village Rajkumar with the message, prevention first, corruption last. Flawlessly designed posters by Sushila Billa Girls School and Ratlam Public School, India. Exceptional efforts by the students of CASD Jos Prudencio Padilla, Columbia, Mansukh Bhai Kothari National School, Pune, Indirapuram Public School, Indirapuram. Vibrant posters made by the students of Kamla Nehru Public School, Fagwara, Punjab, India, with the message, prevention is the cure for corruption. Elegantly designed posters made by the students of Salwan Junior School, New Delhi, Sri Seshas International Public School, Tamil Nadu.
Thank you, Nisha. That was in mind. We're rushing